Welcome, second graders, to Application Problems, Module 5. Turn to your next blank page in your journal and label the top of your page M5L8 for Module 5, Lesson 8. And please remember to include today's date. Then cut out Problem 8 from your prompts and glue it to the top of the page. Pause the video while you get your paper ready, then press play when you're ready to continue. All right, let's get started. Let's take a look at today's problem. In order to solve our problem today, we're going to use the RDW strategy. In this strategy, the first thing that we have to do is read our problem through one time and try and visualize the problem in itself. Then we go back and we circle our numbers and then what the question wants us to figure out. So let's go ahead and read our problem. Please whisper read this problem to yourself as I read it out loud to you. Susan has 37 pennies. MJ has 55 pennies more than Susan. A. How many pennies does MJ have? B. How many pennies do they have all together? So while reading my problem, I know that I have two characters. I have Susan, and I know that Susan has 37 pennies. And then I have MJ, and she has 55 more pennies than Susan. So I want to go ahead and circle all of my numbers in my problem. So looking at the problem, I have 37. So circle 37 on your problem. And then I see 55. So we'll go ahead and circle 55. 37 pennies and 55 pennies. And also with the 55 pennies, I think it's important for me to remember that MJ has 55 pennies more than Susan. So let's look at letter A. Letter A wants to know how many pennies does MJ have? Problem B wants to know how many pennies do they have all together? So now I'm ready to solve this problem. And I've read the problem through, so let me go ahead and if you would do the same thing, check off read the problem. Now I need to draw and label it. So to draw and label it for my problem, I'm going to use the tape diagram. And the tape diagram just basically helps me to understand my parts of the problem and the whole amount of the problem. Go ahead and try and complete your tape diagram using my parts of the problem and what I know about the whole amount, and complete your tape diagram. Press pause while you're doing this, and then when you're finished, press play and we'll check it out together. All right, let's take a look. On my tape diagram, I know that Susan has 37 pennies. And then I know that MJ has 55 more pennies. But what I don't know is how many pennies MJ has all together. So to solve this problem, I know that I'm going to have to try and find my whole amount. I know that I have 37, which is a part, and I have 55, which is a part. And what I have to figure out is how much the whole amount would be. So I know in order to solve this, I'm going to use the operation of addition. So now that I've drawn and labeled, let's check that off of our checklist. I need to write my problem as an equation. So to write it as an equation, it's going to look like this. 37 plus 55 equals blank. Now comes the fun part. To solve this problem, I'm going to challenge you to choose your own way of solving. I'm going to use the arrow notation. But go ahead, pause the video, solve your problem, and then press play when you're ready to come back and check out your answer with me. Alright, using the arrow notation, I know that I have to start with 37 because 37 is the part that I have to begin with. And when I'm using the arrow way, I first want to start by adding the tens. And if I look at the number 55, I know that I have 5 tens. And 5 tens is the same as 50. So I'm going to say 37 plus 50. And I can simply count up from 37 5 times, but 37 plus 50 gives me 87. Now that I've solved, or I've added the total amount of tens, next I'm going to have to figure out how much 5 more ones will be on this problem. So again, because I want to do the easy math, I have 87. And I know that 7 and 3 are my rainbow buddies. They're buddies, and that when I put them together, they make 10. So I'm going to take 3 from my 5 and add it to 87. So 87 plus 3 will give me 90. Now that I've taken 3 from my 5 ones, that leaves me with 2 ones left. So I'm going to add those 2 ones, which would be 90 plus 2, and that's going to give me the difference of 92. And I know that I have added the correct amount because these numbers right here will equal this number here. So 50 plus 3 is 53, plus 2 more gives me 55. So my answer is going to be 37 plus 55 gives me 92. Hopefully you were able to come up with the same answer to the problem. So for part A, how many more pennies does MJ have? Well, she has 92 more pennies. Now that I've written the equation and I've solved the equation, my last part is to write my answer in a complete sentence. So for my complete sentence, I'm going to say that MJ had 92 pennies. Now let's look at part B. For part B, it wants to know how many pennies do they have all together. So again, now I'm going to think about my tape diagram and think about the whole amount and my parts. So I need to find out how many they have all together. I know that Susan has 37 pennies, and now I know that MJ has 92 pennies. My goal is to figure out how many pennies they have all together. So now that I've done that, I'm ready to write my problem as an equation. And my equation for this problem will be, I'd like for you now to pause the video and write the equation for this problem, then press play when you have your equation written and you're ready to check it out with me. Hopefully you've written the equation 37 plus 92 because I'm wanting to find out how much they both have together, or I'm trying to find out the whole amount of pennies that Susan and MJ have. To solve my problem, I'm going to use the place value chart to solve. So go ahead and set up your paper and solve the problem or the equation 37 plus 92 in any way that you would like to solve it. Then press play when you're ready to continue with me. Alright, let's take a look at my place value chart. I have put 37 on my place value chart, and that's represented by these place value discs here. So count these with me as I count them out loud. 1 10, 2 10s, 3 10s, and then I have to have 7 1s. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 1s, and then I have to have 92 that I'm adding together, so count 92 with me. 1 10, 2 10, 3 10, 4 10, 5 10, 6 10, 7 10, 8 10, 9 10s, and then 2 1s. There's 91 and 92. So to do this, I want to try and see if I can make a bundle of 10. When I add my ones place, I see that that only gives me 9 ones. So I'm not going to be able to make a bundle with my ones. Let's take a look at the tens place though. I know just by looking that in 92 I already have 9 ones. So all I have to do is to add one more. So there's 4, 5, and one more. That's going to give me 10. So I'm going to, on this problem, I know that I have one new unit. So I'm going to carry that one unit over here to the tens or to the hundreds place. And then I'm going to count how many ones I have left. So when I count, I see that I have 1, 2 ones. And then I'm going to count my hundreds place, and I have 1 100, making my answer 129. Next, I want to go ahead and check my equation for the problem. And I've written my problem out. 37 plus 92. 7 plus 2 gives me 9 ones, which is correct. 3 plus 9 gives me 12 ones. I put my two tens in the tens place, and I carried the one new unit to the hundreds place, which gives me 129. Now that I have solved the equation and have found the answer, I write that in the form of a complete sentence. So my complete sentence will be, all together, Susan and MJ have 129 pennies. I hope you came up with the same solution. If not, go back and double check your work. And if you have any questions, please let your teacher know. Until next time.